Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about 5 movies that I watched for the first time in the month of October 2022. These are just 5 sort of older movies, shall we say. I think primarily these are pretty much all from the 90s that I've just never seen before and picked them up this month and gave them a go for the first time. Before I get into the list, I want to give a big shout out to Terence McGuana, who pretty much was the source of me finding out some of these movies. Definitely the first 3. Big shout out to him. I'll leave a link in the description to his channel. We did a stream together a couple of weeks ago, and these movies, the first 3, came up on that stream, and I'd never heard of them. So the first one I watched for the first time this month was a movie with Eddie Murphy from the 90s I'd never seen before, and that is Metro. This wasn't a great movie by any means. It didn't break new ground for me, but I had a lot of fun with this movie. We were talking about the actor Michael Wincott, and this movie came up. I think it was mentioned that he played a villain in this movie because he's one of my favorite underrated actors. I just think he always gives a fantastic performance whatever he's in. And yeah, this was just a movie that sort of went a bit different for me when you sort of think about Eddie Murphy. I think this was when he was trying to sort of break away from comedy and downplay the humor quite a bit and focus on giving more serious roles. And yeah, this one was pretty good. I did enjoy it. Far from perfect, but I really got a kick out of this film. Just one of those generic 90s action movies. And for some people this may work, for others it may not, but for me, I really got a kick out of it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the violence in it was really good as well. Just a fun action film. Dumb fun, but I really enjoyed Metro. So yeah, that is Metro. Next up, we talked about this Wes Craven film, and I'd seen the cover for this as a kid through going through Blockbusters and seeing it in HMV, and I'd never ever seen the movie up until this month. And it's a Wes Craven movie, I think from the late 80s. It's called The Serpent and the Rainbow, starring Bill Pullman. I think the best way to sort of describe this movie is it's a zombie movie, but not in the conventional sense. Shall we say. I think this movie's sort of very, I want to say voodoo driven, but that's sort of like the foundation for it being a zombie movie. It just definitely isn't in the conventional sense. It doesn't have your classic stereotypical zombies in it. There's nothing sort of George Romero-esque about this film. But yeah, I've got to say, I really enjoyed the creativity in this movie. I thought Bill Pullman gave a fantastic performance in it. Wasn't expecting to see Michael Gough in this movie as well. But yeah, I had fun with it. Really enjoyed it. And it was just an underrated horror film. I watched it this month alongside, I did a double bill with this with Pet Sematary. And yeah, I just really had a blast with it. Just thought it was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that is The Serpent and the Rainbow. And the final film that Terence mentioned that I hadn't seen before was a movie with Patrick Dempsey. And it's an early 90s movie called Run. I had a blast with this one as well. This just was so much fun. It sort of follows Patrick Dempsey, who sort of is like playing this guy who wants to sort of get into like the underground blackjack type of world that goes on, and something happens where he has this, without spoiling the film, something kicks off between him and this important gangster, shall we say, and he ends up going on the run throughout the entire movie. And that is basically it in a nutshell. There's not much to it, but what it does do, this movie, is a lot of fun. It just really is entertaining, and that's all I can really say about it. I just can't really bring anything else to the table about this movie. Kelly Preston's in it, who we sadly lost, but she's great in nearly everything I've seen her in. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this one, and it was just entertaining to boot. A lot of fun. That is Run. Next up was a movie that was brought to my attention by my friend Jason Brett. I'll leave a link in the description to his channel down below as well. We were talking about sort of movies we'd seen when we were younger, and I'd never even heard of this film, and it's just got an absolutely fantastic cast. Terry Gard, Jeffrey Jones, Eric Idle, John Lovitz, Wally Shaw's in this movie as well. And yeah, this wasn't a great movie. Again, nowhere near perfect, this movie, but I had fun with it. I really, really liked the creativeness in this movie. And that is Mum and Dad Save the World. Yeah, really, really likable 90s cheese, this movie, for me, sort of capitalizing on a lot of late 80s, early 90s family-friendly, daft sci-fi comedies that were coming out. And this movie just sort of epitomized that for me. We were talking about the mushrooms in the film that sort of look like xenomorph creatures as they were. They sort of have these mouths within mouths. And yeah, it was just really creative and really, really fun. And I really, really dug it, as it were. It just really put a smile on my face. Sort of, I was grinning from cheek to cheek watching this film. And it just really, really took me back to that time period where you just discover, you know, these daft 90s movies, as it were. And yeah, just really, really enjoyed this one. So yeah, that is Mum and Dad Save the World. And the last movie I picked for this video was another movie with an absolutely exceptional cast. I'd seen the score on this on IMDb, and I think it had like 6.3 or 6.6. And I was like, right, okay, maybe this is just going to be another generic, forgettable film. And it was anything but. To be honest, this one really, really appealed to my taste buds. And it was just an awesome action movie. Fabulous cast in this as well. Michael Wincott again appearing in this film. Gary Oldman, Juliette Lewis, and a small role from Roy Scheider in this as well. And that is Romeo is Bleeding. I had a fantastic time with this film. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. The action really, really surprised me. Gary Oldman's performance in this was great. And again, it just epitomised fun for me. I really, really dug this movie. It was just so much fun. What a surprise. Really, really, again, was another film to put a smile on my face. Yeah, I just absolutely loved it. It's one I'm hoping to give a rewatch again soon, because I've only seen it the once, but from what I remember, it just really, really appealed to me. I just really, really enjoyed this film and had an absolute blast with it. When the cast members do appear on screen, it was like, I was pumped when they appeared. I don't know why. I just really, really enjoyed this movie. Yeah, it just really appealed to me. It had this dark tone to it. It was kind of like Heat, but it wasn't as good as Heat. It just had that sort of vibe to it about these cops. You know, just really, really fun. Really, really enjoyed Romeo is Bleeding. Yeah, I can't really get into it too much without giving anything away, but it was just a really, really good raw movie that I just really, really enjoyed. Brutal parts in it. Yeah, just some over the top fun in this film. Really, really dug it. So yeah, that is Romeo is Bleeding. So yeah, those are my 5 picks for the month of October that I saw for the first time this month, and I just really, really enjoyed all 5 of these movies. So yeah, that's pretty much the video, guys. Gonna leave it there and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.